Flying across the world at the controls of some of the most sophisticated aircraft in existence is, for many, a dream job. So, understandably, you've asked the question, how do I become a commercial pilot? Welcome back to Brain Bytes, the #1 channel on YouTube for all of the content that you will ever need to quench your brain's thirst for the most interesting videos. If you like this kind of content, remember to leave a thumbs up so we know to make more for you. Plus, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any of our latest and greatest uploads. In this episode, we are going to be looking in depth at just how you can get started at becoming a commercial airline pilot. Let's get into it. On the road to a career as a commercial pilot, you're going to have to make many decisions. There is no normal route to a job in the left-hand seat. There are many different training routes, financing options, and career paths. So, just where do you start? Before signing on the dotted line for any kind of commercial pilot training, you should look into your initial Class 1 medical, which is necessary for anyone wishing to train for a commercial or airline transport pilot license. Do not be fooled by some of the myths such as, I can't be a professional pilot because I wear glasses. Contrary to popular belief, you can fly commercial aircraft wearing glasses or contact lenses as long as your vision is correctable to 20/20. Applicants for an ATPL license must be at least 21 years old, and all medicals must be carried out by an approved aeromedical centre. You can expect the medical examination to take up to 4 hours, and it examines your medical history, eyesight, general physical health, hearing, heart rhythm, lung function, as well as including some blood and urine tests. Be aware that becoming a commercial pilot is a huge financial commitment and also very competitive. Shop around for a wide variety of training schools, consider all the different routes, and finally, gain experience. Work placements with aviation companies can help, but if you're at school, get involved with your local Air Training Corps or Combined Cadet Force. If you're going to university, consider the University Air Squadron too. All of these experiences will help you decide whether a pilot career is for you, as well as setting you in good stead once you get to pilot selection and when you're competing for airline flight crew jobs. Now, just how much does it cost, and how can you pay for it? Paying for your professional flight training is one of the most expensive investments that you will ever make. Depending on the training route you will follow, you should be prepared to pay around £70,000 to £120,000 to train for your initial license. You can borrow the money from certain banks, and some schools will help with this. Many students turn to the bank of mum and dad, or working their way through the training. Whichever route that you choose, you're going to want to make sure that your investment is secure. So, what steps should you take? Research your chosen ATO. How long have they been trading? Do they have any history of financial problems? And what links do they have with any major airlines? It is obviously best to go with a well-established organization with impressive industry links. If you can, pay module by module rather than all up front. Even some integrated courses offer pre-designated schedules to draw down payments in installments throughout your training, rather than taking it all in one go. You can pay for the training by credit card, which can provide some sort of insurance in the event of an ATO going under. Does your chosen ATO offer payment protection programs? These plans guarantee to refund a percentage of your fees should you fail to reach the required standard to complete the course. Throughout your training, keep your eyes on the bigger picture in terms of the financial position of your chosen ATO and the industry in general. Finally, remember the old saying, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Now, what kind of training and qualifications do you need? As stated in the introduction, there is more than one way to qualify as an airline pilot, and none of them is normal. But the license that you will need to end up with either is an ATPL, an airline transport pilot license, or an MPL, a multi-crew pilot license. ATPL is currently the more common license, and this can be reached through 2 training routes, integrated and modular. You can expect to pay around 70 to 80k for modular training and 100 to 120k for the integrated. The integrated route involves a full-time course of study, generally lasting around 14 months. This takes a student from a complete beginner to a position where they are ready to take up a role as a commercial pilot. The main advantage is that a student enters an intense course of study with a dedicated and well-equipped training facility, surrounded by like-minded students and often with links to leading airlines. If you follow a standard integrated or modular course in the UK, you will end up with a frozen ATPL. The frozen part refers to the fact that you've passed the theory part of the airline transport pilot license. To unfreeze it, you'll need to have a total of 1,500 hours flying time logged. You'll also need a type rating, basically the result of a course of training undertaken that is individual to each type of aircraft, for example, a Boeing 737-400. It is now common to have to pay for your first type rating yourself, a cost of between £20,000 to £30,000, although this could change. You can generally expect any further type of ratings to be paid for by your employers. Alternatively, you can follow the MPL, the Multi-Crew Pilot License training route, an increasingly popular option. MPL courses are usually run at integrated schools in partnership with an airline. The huge attraction of this route is that you're highly likely to get a job with the chosen airline at the end of the training, while for the airlines, each curriculum is designed to feature its standard operating procedures. The training itself can be split into specific sections, which typically run like this. The ATPL ground exams. For many, the most demanding part of the training. You'll need to pass 14 exams covering subjects such as navigation, flight planning, and aviation law. Flight training, the fun bit. The majority of this may well take place overseas, often in the USA or Southern Europe, which offers cheaper flying and better weather than in the UK. Night qualification, which will be your first additional qualification. Commercial pilot license. The CPL is a basic requirement to be allowed to fly for a financial reward. This is a major stepping stone. You need a minimum of 150 hours of flight time to get this far. Flying aircraft with retractable undercarriage and variable pitch propellers. A multi-engine rating, instrument rating, the most demanding of the flying skills. Flying solely regarding the aeroplane's instruments. Multi-crew cooperation, learning to work as a team, a requisite for the majority of professional pilots. A big difference between MPL and ATPL is the training itself, with an integrated course of study. For example, a student would expect to graduate with an excess of 200 hours flight time. With an MPL, this is likely to be closer to 90 hours, with a much larger proportion of the training taking place on simulators. Now, you've made it to pilot selection. But what is it, and how do you prepare? You can't just buy your way onto a flight training course. Most above-board schools will want to know you have the particular skills and personality suited to a pilot career before they put you through training. Many schools have specific rules for pilot selection. You will have to apply for and pass a series of selection tests that will gauge your suitability to be a pilot and work in a team. Each ATO has its own tests, although they are broadly similar. Be prepared to demonstrate a combination of good technical skills, mental maths, spatial awareness and problem solving, along with people skills and a wide knowledge of the industry and the airlines that you aspire to fly for. Over multiple stages, pilot selection typically involves online application, aptitude and maths testing, interview and group exercises and simulator assessment. Although pilot selection may be unfamiliar, like any job interview, preparation is the key. Do not leave any of it to chance. You need to prove to the airlines that you're serious about flying as a career. Some flying hours under your belt will help, as well as a good basic knowledge of the industry. That brings us to the end of today's episode, looking at how to become a commercial airline pilot. We hope that you learned something from this video, and any of you aspiring pilots now know what it will take. Which part of this episode surprised you the most? Get involved and let us know in the comments section down below. If you enjoyed this upload, remember to leave a thumbs up and subscribe to Brain Bytes to stay up to date with our latest episodes. Thanks for watching. See you soon in the next one.